17th, 2023. Wow, the time went fast. I just remember the other day when it was like 1984. So time has changed. But I'm wearing my Hawaiian clothes today. I mean, I wear them every day. Uh, Here, you don't really wear suits and ties. You never see anybody in a suit and tie here, except maybe unless you go to the court or something. But you just wear casual clothes. And I've got my Hawaiian shorts on. This shirt is really, I like it a lot. The best place to pick up t-shirts is at the thrift shop because they have choices that they don't sell in other places. Like you go to Walmart, it's kind of like a common design, and they have three or four designs, and then you just get it. But when you go to the thrift shop, you see all kinds of great designs. And this one actually says Kapolei Baseball, and then it shows the logo of the high school. It's from the high school baseball team, which is right out that window, right out my window right there. And I like it a lot. It Kapolei Baseball. So I'm wearing my T-shirt from Kapolei High School. Love it. And I'm just don't have shoes on, as you can see. And another thing that's interesting about living in Hawaii, if you notice, the suntan. I wear sandals sometimes. Usually, I wear sandals when I go out. And if you notice, I have the line of the sandal right there. So that's another thing about Hawaii too. So I thought it'd be real. I've got my Kona coffee. If you don't mind, let me get a sip. I wanted to do this video the other day, and I thought, well, it kind of got into the evening time, and I thought, well, to be honest, if you're going to do a video about Hawaii, you probably want to do it when the sun's out. Okay, even though the nighttime is beautiful here, I thought, well, it's nighttime, it's not going to have the same effect. So it's around 6 p.m. now. The sun is just setting. The sunset is right out. I'm right in that direction where I'm pointing. My windows are right there from my living room, and it faces right toward the sunset. So I thought this would be a really great time to do it, and I'm just going to talk about what it's like living in Hawaii. I've been coming. My first trip to Hawaii was 1985 or 6. I'm not sure the year. So I came and I went to school here, and I worked here as what they call the mission builder, and they taught me how to build things, which I really enjoy doing, like construction. I built stone masonry for the school. So, and then I went into the school. So that was my first trip. And I set up my residency in 1986 at that time. I got my driver's license here. I put all my bank account was here. I voted here. So all those things happened at that time. And then I went into the mission field as a Christian missionary for a number of years before I became a pastor. And when you're in international places, like Germany or Europe or Asia, you actually need to have a place that you call home legally in the U.S. because you're a U.S. citizen, so you have to do all your voting from there. Main thing is voting, and so it's always been Hawaii. And then I would come back and forth frequently, and I would stay for a long periods of time in Hawaii, but then I'd always go back out into the mission field. And so I wanted to tell you a little bit about the difference between, I'll tell you what, let me turn on another light here where the lighting will be a little better. I forgot to turn it on. Just give me a second. There you go. There you go. That's better. So I've got some external lights right there. This is natural light right here coming in through the window, but this makes it a little better. And the sound quality may be a little bit off. I wanted to test it. I've got a good microphone right there, but I wanted to test it. And I'm not sure. It sounds a little bit like tinny. I'm sorry about that because I'm going to have to spend some time trying to get the best sound quality. I love to do videos. I don't really want to write anymore Like if you see me always on Facebook writing and posting stuff, actually, I just want to do videos now. And they're just easier to do. And I think they're more personal. But people may not watch them as much. But, my life should be very enjoyable, I should say now. But going back to what it was like living in Hawaii, it's different when you come here and you stay for like 3 months, or you stay for 3 weeks. It's a different kind of environment for living, and it's a different kind of feeling. So that I'm not going to really talk about. All I'll tell you is that there is a difference between living here permanently, where you're here all the time, and coming and going back and forth. The feeling is different. The amount of information you have about knowing about this place is different. And for sure, we won't get into if you're a tourist coming here. You come here for a week and then you go back to your home, wherever you may live. That one, you really don't know what it's like living in Hawaii. You know what Hawaii is somewhat like. But I'm going to share with you today about life in Hawaii and what I've learned. I've actually learned a lot, and it's been very enjoyable. I mean, I always knew that going back to 1985, that I wanted to live in Hawaii. It was always what I wanted to do. I wanted to end my days in Hawaii. That means when I'm dying, at the point where I'm 65 and a half years old right now. And, at that point, I just wanted to be in Hawaii and enjoy my life. And that's exactly what I'm doing. And I have a great life. I mean, I really, really enjoy it. Now, Hawaii is not for everybody. The TV shows kind of a glamour side of Hawaii, which is true. I mean, it's like a beautiful place for sure. But they show that aspect of it. And then there's the other aspect for the people who live here, who have to pay bills and, get in their car and drive places, go to work. That's a whole different kind of a feeling. So if you're watching like videos or you've seen pictures of Hawaii, it's absolutely true what you're seeing, like Waikiki, Diamond Head, the people that are friendly doing the hula dancing, all that happens. It's absolutely gorgeous. So, but there's the other aspect too, which I'm going to share about. That's the reason I wanted to do the video called What It's Like Living in Hawaii. When you come here, you have to there are things that you have to do upon arrival. Excuse me, I'm going to have my coffee. You have to figure out how to get around, transport. If you're living here, you have different considerations. One is the buying a car. And I'm actually looking at cars now. I'm checking out cars. They're not that expensive. I'm actually kind of surprised. The newer cars, the new cars are just a few thousand, maybe $1,000 more than on the mainland of the U.S. Maybe because of the shipping costs or something. But you could just say they're almost the same. Then you have the used cars, and I think the used cars are cheaper here, and they're in great condition because the salt water. It's not like California where there's a lot of salt water in the air or salt in the air. Here, I don't think there's hardly any. I'm not sure why. It must be because of the ocean breezes. But the cars when you look at the bodies of cars here, older cars, even like 20 years old, they look perfect. And maybe it's just also the people take care of their cars well. So cars are really something you have to look at because you have to get around, and then you have public transport. And one of the reasons that I came to Hawaii was because we have great public transport here. And they have public buses, which are inexpensive. Usually costs a cup $2 or $3 to take the bus the whole day. Actually, it's $5.50. They've raised the price, but you can take it all day as much as you want, or you can pay 70. These are all U.S. dollars, $70 US, and get a bus pass that allows you to go as much as you want for 1 month. So that's great. And the buses here are clean and tidy. They're all air conditioned. They're never crowded, and they run a very consistent schedule, like every maybe 15 minutes, a bus will come, and it takes you everywhere on the island. You may have to change one or two buses, but it's a really good way if you don't want to, but it's not my preferred way. And then I have another way that I use. The doctor gave me I'm actually hard of hearing, and he gave me a pass to take what's called the handy van because I have a hearing problem and I can't really hear that well. And then I also have kind of a neck problem back in here, and that can be serious. I have pain, at different times, serious pain, but it's not constant. And so he said, okay, we'll give you what's called the handy van. And the van means you call them up on the phone, and then they come pick you up and they take you wherever you want to go 24 hours a day. And they just charge you a couple dollars each trip. And it's really a great way to go. Not too many people use it. And so I've got those different options. I've got the public bus. I've got the van. I can call up a friend if I want. And then, I really don't need a car, to be honest with you. But if my children come over, perhaps they need a car. So I'm thinking about that now. And like I say, they're affordable. The price of gas here is about, at this moment, you can get gas about $5 a gallon, much cheaper than, as I understand it, California, and a little more expensive than other places. But you don't have very far to drive here. It's an island, so it'd be rare for you to drive all the way around the island unless you're doing sightseeing. You just go from point A to point B in your neighborhood, in your area. So you don't really use much gas here. So it's affordable, I could say. And I think it'd be even cheaper at Costco, probably $4 and maybe 60 cents. I'm just guessing because I don't buy gas there. So the other way you can do the transport here in Hawaii is you rent a car. If you don't plan to go around here and there on the island, you can just rent a car for a few days, and you can get cars here for like $35 a day. It's possible if you know how to do it, and you get lucky on the timing. And you just rent a car for the day if you need to really do something where you have to have a car or a van, and that saves you a lot of money. You don't have a car payment. So those are all good things about the transport here. And then, of course, flying in to the airport, we have one international airport here, which is not very far from my house, about 10 miles probably. It takes 30 to 40 minutes to get there. I'd just say 30 minutes if there's not traffic. It's not bad. So they fly, and it flies everywhere. You see, Lufthansa from Germany, Finnair coming in. Of course, all the Asian airlines are flying. The U.S. airlines are flying here because people want to come on holiday. And so you have all these great airlines, and the prices are affordable to come here. Again, you have to, plan it. You have to search, and then maybe you get really lucky. A round trip from Asia to here can be as low as $500 US round trip if you look and you plan in advance. So that's unbelievable. And so you have the transport when you start to live here, and that I talked about. Then you have the health care, and we really have great health care here. As far as the U.S. goes, Hawaii they call it the happiest state to live in the U.S. There's 50 states in the U.S. I think that's true. People are very happy here. When you go out and meet them, people are friendly and they're polite. And so with healthcare, they also have the longest life of anywhere in the U.S. I think it's around 82 years, something like that, the average. So, or maybe the medium, I'm not sure, but it's 82 years. And people are healthy here, Now, there are a lot of people who overeat here. They're really huge. Local people, actually, usually Hawaiian people. But having said that, especially if you go down to Waikiki, it's just normal, fit people, very fit, because you're out walking outside. You don't stay in your house much here, and you go out. So we have, and you go swimming in the ocean. It's very much an outdoor kind of a place. That's one thing I like about living here. If you get a nice place to live, which I have a very nice place to live, I have everything I need here, uh, and you just go out whenever you want to go out. Um, the weather here, when you wake up, some people would call this a disadvantage. Some would call it an advantage. Uh, I can see it. I think it's more of an advantage for me personally. But every day you wake up and the weather is great. It's the same. Blue sky. We don't have really any clouds in the sky. It's rare to see clouds, mostly blue sky. At night, you see stars. And the weather, especially in the wintertime, on this particular island, I think there's 7 or 8 islands in the state. This is actually, it's not the largest island, but it's the most populated island and has the most things to do. It's called Oʻahu. It's where Honolulu is. As far as the weather goes, you can have slightly different weather in different parts of the island. Depends on the trade winds and also the rain that comes in and the elevation. Where I live is one of the warmer places, but it's very reasonable. At nighttime it's perfect. It's like 65 to 70 degrees right now, and then the daytime it'll get up to 70, 75, maybe 75 to 80. But there's very little humidity here, and you don't feel extremely hot. Now in the summer it kind of changes a little bit. Summer it feels warm when you go out. Daytime is fine. You just wear light clothing. I mean, evening time is fine. Daytime is a little bit warm in this part of the island. But if you go to another part of the island, it's like perfect. Middle of the island or the North Shore area. But I don't complain at all. And I have air conditioning. I have central air in my house. So I just turn on the air conditioner. And I'm seeing a big jetliner go right in front of my window. I can sit here in this chair and watch the military jets, the tourist jetliners fly right into the airport. And you don't hear them because they're up a little bit high and they're offshore. So it's really great. But as far as the temperature goes, the nighttime is really my favorite time to go out. When you go out, it's cool and it's quiet. I like the evening time best, and it's not dark here. I don't know why, but I guess because we have blue sky and the stars are out and the moon, it's not dark here. So when you go out, you just can see things, and that's very nice. That's one thing I like about Hawaii and what it's like living here. Everybody looks at the weather, and as I said, every day I wake up and once in a great while we have rain, but it's at least where I live on this side of the island, we don't get heavy rain, and it'll be a light rain, but it's rare. So we have palm trees. We have lots of flowers here, with trees with flowers and bushes with flowers. So it's really nice that way too. And these are all things that you wouldn't really know. The island, again, I'm on Oʻahu. There's 7 or 8 islands that are not as populated and not as developed. This one has everything you can imagine. If you want, that we have all kinds of restaurants here, especially Asian, Hawaiian restaurants, American style restaurants. We have everything. European, there's not so many here. You can find them. I've eaten at a few of them. I don't think they're as great as the mainland or actually Europe, naturally in Europe, but they're still reasonable. If you want to eat French food or you want to eat German food, you can find that kind of a place. But again, it's not like New York City German food or Germany German food. But I can say Asian food is perfect. And Hawaiian food. And they do have Mexican food here. That's pretty common. Again, I've eaten a few places, not like going to southern Texas or Arizona or Mexico. It's not quite that great as far if you compare them, but it's still reasonable. and it's affordable. Every meal here, if you go out, I eat out once a week probably. I like to cook, and I have all kinds of food here. So, I see two planes right in front of me. One is a small passenger plane flying, one engine plane, and the other is a jetliner in the distance. So that's very cool. And so yeah, I have all kinds of food here. You can get every kind of food here that you can get anywhere else. We have Costco, we have Walmart. It's only 5 minutes from me, so it's very easy to go to, and they have everything. So you can buy it and bring it here. It's affordable. So Hawaii is really a great place to live, I think. Okay. Now, some people might say, "Oh, we like the snow." If you get on a plane here and you fly to Los Angeles, I think it's a 3-hour flight to Los Angeles. I'm guessing 3.5 hours, and it's not expensive. Or they have flights that you can get that are reasonable. And if you want to go to Colorado to go skiing, of course, you'd probably have to rent a car and have a place to stay. It's easy to get off the island and do things. But some people like to live in four-season kind of environment. And they have different islands here. Of those 7 or 8 islands I mentioned, like the big island called Hawaii, that's the name of it. The name of the state is Hawaii, but the name of this big island is called Hawaii. We're on Oʻahu. That one has every tropical or every climatic zone that exists in the world. It's like 22 climate zones, I think. And that island has them all. It has snow on top of a mountain at times, and it has rainforest, and it has desert. So if you live on that particular island, even though it's not as developed as Oʻahu, you can, or if I want to get on a plane and go there to Kona and then go around, and I've done that many times. I went to school there and I lived there. You go around the island, you go wherever you want. So that's a bit different. But it makes life easy here to do things. I can say if you enjoy if you're comfortable with yourself, you're comfortable with your life, you're not trying to be something different than what you are, this is a good place because you just have to live comfortably here and you can do everything. We have great artistry here, performing arts, theater. We have a lot of different theaters that are going on. And another thing, the singing groups that come in, the concerts, the singing groups, the theater, they come to Hawaii because those singing groups want to come to Hawaii to enjoy the state. So they always schedule their tour dates here, which is pretty great. Some of the places you couldn't see on the mainland very easily unless you were in New York or somewhere or Las Vegas or whatever. They come here, and it's not that expensive. So I actually want to start doing that this year. I want to go to more theater, like Broadway plays that they're bringing here. I want to see more symphonies, more music groups. I've got a few a few people I'm going to go see that in my mind, I'm like, yeah, I want to see that group. I've never seen them. I like watching them on YouTube. So that's really great. So that's kind of the performing arts scene here. Let me think what else. So we have music, we have Broadway shows, we have, and then we have the traditional stuff like the Hawaiian music and the hula, and the storytelling. They have that taking place. So every week, you can find something to do here. You can find like multiple things to do. And then they have a lot of things like Sea Life Park. They have the Polynesian Village. They have the Disneyland Hotel 5 minutes from me. So they have things, it's set up for the tourists, but of course as locals, when we get it about half price, you can go to those places and enjoy it. I haven't been to Sea Life Park yet. I'm going to go there very soon. And I have been to the Disneyland Hotel. It was nice. I wouldn't go to the hotel all the time because it's just not my thing. But I would just say it was nice. And that area around it, I go to about once every 2 weeks because I like to go sit in that particular area. It's only 10 minutes from where I live. So, and then the other thing that kind of people want to know about with Hawaii, what it's like living in Hawaii. Everybody knows we have the ocean and surfing. Let me get a drink here. When I go out, I either go down to, like, say, Waikiki area or downtown Honolulu, or I go the opposite way, which is toward an area called Waianae, or the Disneyland Hotel. And everywhere you go right along the seashore on a road, or you can see the sea. So you see surfing constantly here. Now, on the way the surfers gauge it based on the wave height, and they kind of pay attention a day or two before the waves come in, and then they know, that's a good day to go surfing. So if you get the waves that are like 12 feet or so, or higher, up to 40 feet, like last week, just a few days ago, it was around 40 feet on North Shore, which is very unusual. But if you go on those days when they have those wave heights, there's surfers everywhere. And you can sit there on the beach and watch them, or you can drive by them and look at them surfing. And, they're out there in the ocean, and there are people who live here. And that's a very big thing. Also fishing. They do a lot of fishing. They have a pole on the seashore, and they cast it in the water, and they catch fish and they eat them. And then I've seen people bring fish out from the seashore that are about that big. No, bigger than that. Probably like a little bit less than a meter long, right off the seashore. And then they have boats that go out. A lot of people have boats, local people, and they go out. They do their own boating or fishing or scuba diving, whatever they do. People do scuba dive here. I don't see it too much because I'm not really part of that scene, but it's common. Snorkeling is very common. You go to Walmart, buy your mask and your thing to breathe out of, and flippers, and you just go out, and right from the seashore. And there are certain places where they have more fish, turtles, dolphins. I haven't seen a dolphin yet here. I've seen turtles. I've swam with the turtles. They're big. I mean, they're like 1 meter across, and they're very friendly. They don't bother you. I wouldn't like try to put my hand up next to their face, but you touch their, don't touch the wildlife. That's actually probably illegal, especially if it's an endangered species. But I've seen pictures where people are touching. And then they have seals here that come up on the seashore. That's pretty common. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm sure I will if I look for it, because it's very common. And they do have whales during a certain 5-month period, just not too far, just straight out from where I live. But they're all over the island, and if you're fortunate and you time it right, you can go out and see the whales. You have to kind of get away from the seashore a bit to see the whales. But, fabulous, just absolutely fabulous. Another small airplane going right in front of me, a window, because I have another airport. I have a couple airports right not too far, about a mile from me that way, out my window. And one is a military airport, and I see the transport, they call them C-140s with propellers. They take off from right there. You can't hear them because they're too far away, but you can definitely see them going up. And it's really cool because they start to go up, and then right away they turn to the right. They tilt and they turn and they go off over the ocean. And then they have private airport there where people are flying in. They keep their private planes there, and then they fly around, for hobby or enjoyment. They don't have Lear jets or anything like that landing over there. That's more the international airport. But amazing. So going back to the healthcare, I kind of got off track there. The healthcare is very good here. We have lots of doctors. We have lots of medical clinics. We have hospitals. There's probably at least 6 to 7 hospitals on this island. that are, and then they have some really big ones. They have everything you need. I go to one just 15 minutes from here where I live. I'll be going there on Monday actually, and then they have one there, and that's for a checkup, nothing serious. They're gonna, check my blood and make sure I'm healthy. And that one's a brand new hospital. Great, it's absolutely fabulous. Great views of Pearl Harbor. And then 2 days from now, I go to Tripler Medical Center because I'm an ex-military, and they have all kinds of benefits for people here who are in the military or are in the military. It's a big military state. And so I can go to get medical treatment there. I can go eat there. So today is Tuesday. On Thursday, I'm going to go to Tripler. I'm going to have a nice meal because I love their food there. It's not expensive at all, like $5 a meal at the most, $3 to $5 for an entire meal, and great food. And then I'm going to have a blood work done, and then they're going to give it to my doctor, and then he's going to look at it and check my cholesterol. So the medical here is really good, and they have a lot of you can get medical insurance here very easily. It's dependent on your income. So if your income is very low, like mine is, you get it for free. If it's higher, then you may have to pay some money, but it's affordable. I don't know how it compares to other places in other states in the U.S., but I don't think everybody here has medical insurance. So that's really good, and you just, 5 minutes from here, doctors. If I'm not feeling well, I just 5-minute walk from where I live. There's a medical clinic with doctors in there. So easy to do, So the medical is good. That's one thing I like about living here. You don't have to have a lot of clothes. It's interesting because when I see the tourists come, I go down to where the tourists kind of go and live, in the hotels or they visit. And I've sat there and have coffee or just sit there in the chair. And some of them bring like 2 huge suitcases, and they're there in a hotel for probably 5 days or a week at the most. And they have like these huge suitcases, 2 of them. And each person brings them, and they have a backpack. And that's not the way people who live in Hawaii live. I can just tell you that. We have a few T-shirts, okay, maybe 5, 10. We have a few pairs of shorts. We have some sandals. We might have one nice like long sleeve shirt with a pair of trousers. If you're gonna do something where you have to really formally dress up with a pair of trousers. But even then, people, when they dress up, they wear the Hawaiian shirts. That's called formal. And then they wear a pair of shorts, a nice pair of shorts. That would be dress up for Hawaii. But, I got a suit here with a tie. Hey, I guess if I went to the mainland, because I get invited to conferences in the mainland constantly. And, those actually, when I went to the last one on the mainland of the U.S., people were wearing sport coats, and it was a very foreign. A couple of people had ties. It wasn't that normal, but they had sport. It was in California. They had sport coats and long trousers, So I kind of keep it for that purpose because showing up like this wouldn't quite fit in. All right, probably wouldn't get invited back. So those are things about Hawaii that are really nice. The fresh air is really great. We have, like I say, we have very clear skies here. I'm on the second floor, and first in the U.S. they use a different numbering system for floors. They don't have ground floor. They have the ground floor is called the first floor, and then they have the next floor up is called the second. So 4 sets of windows would be 4 stories. So if you go up to the 4th story here, I'm on the second. You can look straight out at Diamond Head, far in the distance, and you can see the entire downtown area because it's really clear air, and you can see Pearl Harbor. So that's not bad. And I had thought about like living up a little bit higher. I didn't really get offered that place. Would I have taken it? Hard to say. Now looking back on it, I live on the second floor. I have a view of palm trees and right in front of me, you know, and I'm not looking down at like tops of houses or anything, but I think I would take the top floor if I had to do it over again. When I moved in here, they completely did everything for me. Everything was new, and the manager told me, "You got the unit that has carpeting. We put new carpeting in there, and you're the last person to have new carpeting. We're not going to do carpeting in the future. We're just going to do like tile floor." And so pretty cool. You know, everything is new here. Now, when it comes what it's like living here for rent, that's the toughest part for people who live here is the rent. Um, the rent starts. I mean, it depends on, you know, where you live, the environment you live in, good, bad, the rich area, the poor area. It depends. That determines the price, and then also it's not so much the quality of the housing; it's more where you live. Um, I think there's around 1 million people live on this island of Oahu, around 1 million probably. So that determines the price. The prices can be like one room. You can get one room here for probably $700 starting. The minimum is 700 a month for one room. Not, and then you share a house. The people rent out their room in their house. Um, Rentals would start at 1,000 for a rental in the poorer areas, in the worst areas. So, you know, that's not great. And then you get up to 1,400 to 1,600, 1,600 for a 1 or 2 bedroom place in a nicer area. In the area I'm in, they kind of are run. They start around 1,600 a month for a 1 or 2 bedroom, and they go up rapidly. So it's 3,000 a month is not unusual. That's the hardest part about living in Hawaii. So people here who grew up here, a lot of families live together. They put 3 or 4 because their children all stay in the same house. Even when they get married and they have their own kids, they just divide the house up, and their parents who are older live with them. It's their parents' house, and that's, you know, that's kind of normal here. People are used to it, but of course, the reality is if they could afford to get a place, they probably would move out, you know, and they'd have their own place. And then there are social welfare programs based on your income that provide housing, which I have. But the thing is that if you see Johnny, my dog, he's right there. He likes to jump up on my lap, but I'm not going to let him do it until after the video. So if you see something moving around in the video, it's not a rat. I have the cat right there on the sofa, and I have Johnny the dog right in front of me, waiting to jump up here. But so going back to the rents are tough, and I really it takes most of the income of people. You work 1 or 2 jobs, or both. All the adults in the family work, husband and wife, man and woman. They all work, and most of their money goes to paying their rent, and then they also have to be a little bit careful how much they spend on food. So that's not good. That's the worst part. So for Hawaii, you either have to be willing to have that kind of lifestyle where you're enjoying life and you're willing to, all the money you make is going out, but you have a nice life. But again, you know, you're working all the time. So that's why people come here and then they leave, because they find out it's not quite what they thought it was going to be. And then you have the people who have a lot of money who move here. You know, they have money, assets of some kind with cash, and they come here and they live in a nice place. They either rent or they buy. Houses here start at 800,000. 800,000 condos or 500,000 smaller condos. So that's very expensive. But then you're also having to pay all your monthly expenses, like your food and your medical, if you don't have free medical because of your income. So people who have very low income and have solved the housing problem, which I have, they live great here. Okay. People who have a lot of income or assets, and they live in Hawaii, they don't really have those problems. They have a nice car, they have a nice place to live. It's kind of the middle class where they don't have they're working and they're having to all their money's going out to pay their bills. So that's part of living in Hawaii too, what it's like living in Hawaii. And I pretty much have solved those problems at this moment. So that's good for me. My life is very enjoyable. Every day I wake up, I'm older, so I'm retired, but even if I wasn't retired, I'd still be living the same way. God has just blessed me, I could say, but I can stay up late at night if I want, or I can go to bed early. Normally I go to bed about 10, but sometimes I'll stay out up till 1, depends on how I slept. And then I take a sleep in the afternoon for 2 or 3 hours because the temperature is so pleasant. And then if I just want to go out and do anything, I can go out. I go shopping around the area I'm living in. We have lots of great shopping. Macy's is just down the street, and lots of small boutique shops. We have restaurants of all kinds of food everywhere. Olive Garden is here. California Pizza is here, which everyone knows about. And then you have the smaller mom and pop places, which have great food. Every meal here starts at about $10. You can find $8 meals, which fill you up. But that adds up if you eat out all the time. One of the reasons I'm able to do so well here is because I like to cook, and the food in the restaurant and the grocery stores are affordable, especially for me. And then I just cook. But if you go out, a lot of people, they don't really want to cook, which is, something they probably should think about how they're leading their life, because all their money's going to restaurants. And they just go out and eat every meal. Well, that would be really expensive, because every meal you'd be paying, just say on the average, $15 for including a tip. And, that would add up real quick. So if you can cook and buy your own food at Costco or Walmart, you're fine, which is what I do. And then once in a while, I go out. I have a hunger for a certain kind of food. So those are all great things. Now, it's still light outside. The sun is starting to set. We have great sunsets here. And some sunsets are really spectacular. All red, orange sky with some clouds, and makes the sky look beautiful. And that's in that way. My apartment is set up where I have windows. It faces 2 different directions, so I have windows on all sides of it. And if you go that way and you look right out that way, you see directly at the sunset. And if you look out this way, which is a spare bedroom, the bedrooms and the sitting room, you look at the sunrise. And it's a residential area where I'm living. It's a beautiful area. The houses here start at about 1 million, I think 900,000, and they go up. Beautiful residential area here. So you're looking at a residential top of the houses, but you're still looking at the sunset or the sunrise in the morning time. It's really, really great. The high school is 1 block away over there, and sometimes they have the football lights on, which is nice. I can't really see them unless I'm looking for them, but they're right there. And once in a while you hear the high school band playing marching music, that kind of stuff. So that's good. Sports is really good here. We have tennis courts everywhere with backboards, free. You don't pay for them. We have golf courses. There's tons of golf courses, and they're very affordable. They even let the kids play for free at certain hours. So you have all kinds of public golf courses, and you have private clubs. Like say you have surfing, you have swimming in the ocean. There's public pools if you don't want to swim in the ocean. I have a membership at a couple different clubs, health clubs that have swimming pools, and my neighborhood has their own swimming pool. So very nice. I mean, you can go to the swimming pool. We have bike pass. Hiking is very easy to do here. There's trails everywhere to the top of the mountains. We have mountains on this island, and then we have the seashore. So you can go up the mountain. You can camp. Camping is very easy to do here. Uh, you don't in most places. If you get in kind of the remote areas, you don't really need a permit. I don't think you really need a permit anywhere. You can go to the beach. You just hang out at the beach. You're supposed to have a permit, and it's like $10 or $15, but I think no one does that. They just put up a tent and they live there, or they have a holiday there, cookouts. So that's kind of what it's like living in Hawaii. I think the best thing I like about living in Hawaii is the friendliness of the people. The people are very friendly here. All the people, not just the Hawaiian people. Even the tourists come here and they're very happy. They're having a vacation of a lifetime. And so when you see them, they're smiling, they're happy, everybody's happy. A lot of them have their pets with them, their dogs, and they're walking around. And the local people are also very happy. If you say hi to them, they'll say hi, and they're friendly back to you, and they'll talk to you. And you just never feel people are angry here, So that's probably the best part about living in Hawaii are the people. And then second would be the environment is beautiful, and the weather. The weather and the environment work together. So that's the best thing I like about it. And then when you get into the living environment, that's kind of the third. We have nice places to live. If you're fortunate, you get a nice place to live, which I am. And then the surrounding area depends on where you live and what you're looking for. I found exactly what I'm looking for, but that's the third one, I would say. And yeah, so living in Hawaii has been great. I really don't want to travel anywhere, even though I have opportunities. And I've been offered to go to Poland to a conference, or maybe to help set up a university there, but I don't really want to travel anymore, and I like it here, or go back. I get offered to go visit friends or conferences in the U.S. on the mainland, and that's not something I want to do either, but it's always tempting, because you can see something different. You can go to Los Angeles or wherever you end up going, Washington, D.C., and you can enjoy yourself. But to be honest, I enjoy myself here. So why would I leave from a place I really love to a place just to enjoy myself? So those are all good things. I'm trying to think what else I can tell you about what it's like living in Hawaii. The fruit. Every kind of fruit here you can imagine: guava, papaya, some Hawaiian grapefruit, which has a name which I don't know, but it looks like a grapefruit, except it's bigger. It's like the size of a big softball, but it tastes really sweet and sour at the same time. It's really great. And bananas, yeah, about everything you can imagine. And then, of course, in Costco, if you want strawberries or apples, you can find them, so those are really something I really enjoy. If you want to I like to eat fruit, grapes, things like that. So it's easy to get fruit here, and smoothies. I don't make too many smoothies. I want to make more, but they're easy to do. So I don't eat seafood, but most people here like seafood because they grew up with it. They grew up in the Pacific Ocean area or in Asia, where they eat a lot of seafood. But here seafood is very normal, and it's fresh. It's fresh seafood. They don't really want to eat frozen seafood. You can buy it, at Costco, but here they have open markets with seafood, and that's where people buy their seafood. So you have all kinds of seafood here, crabs, including crabs. So pretty cool, I could say that. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video about what it's like living in Hawaii. it was really no rhyme or reason as to what I was telling you. It was not like I didn't really have an agenda to start out and say, I'm going to talk about this and that, this. I just sharing my feelings. And I hope you've enjoyed it. The sound quality, again, I want to apologize for it because I've got the microphone right there. And sometimes my settings will, it will either use the laptop microphone and then it sounds a little tinny. And I'm trying to make sure that the microphone that's being used is this one where the quality is really good. But I tested it earlier and the sound was okay. So it wasn't perfect, but it was okay. So I just hope that the sound quality is okay. In the future, I'll work at this. I have it kind of set up where I can do videos on a regular basis here. And I'm trying to decide whether I've got a video studio right there, very nice one set up. And I'm deciding whether I'm going to use the video studio with a back screen, with I can change the screen. If I want to show Paris, I can show Paris or show Diamond Head, something like that. I can do that really easily. But I kind of like this setup because it's really how I live and it's very comfortable for me, and I want people to see, oh, Bob, he looks really comfortable because I am. And so I hope you've enjoyed this. And thanks a lot for listening wherever you are. I still have that desire to connect with people around the world. I can do that. I've got a way to do that. And then like having guests where someone from Australia could be a guest and we can do a video together, or Germany, wherever, because that's how I'm going to connect with people around the world. And that's how and they're friends, they're people that I spend a lot of time with around the world. So I don't want to just forget them. Yeah. So thanks a lot, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed what it's like living in Hawaii. I tried my best to explain it to you, and I want everybody to have a great day. I set the timing of the video. It's around 6 p.m. here in Hawaii so that I could reach the people in Hong Kong easily, or Asia. It's about 6 hours earlier there. So there it's like 9 o'clock, they're getting up and they're checking their phones, they're checking their Facebook. So then they will see, oh, it's a live video. And then I also tried to do it where it could reach the people in like New York. And there it's, I think, 3 to 5 hours difference, 3 to 6 hours. So, I tried to do it where it was like 9 p.m. on the mainland in California. I probably should have done my video a little bit earlier than 6, but, did the best I could. But the timing is really important for you. For me, it's fine, So what it's like living in Hawaii, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. And aloha, okay? Or maybe it's this one, yeah, aloha. It has some meaning. I don't know what it means, but that's what Hawaiians do. Okay, they do that. And if you do this one, it means I love you in sign language. And if you do this, you put your finger down, your pointer finger, it's a sign for aloha, which means love of other people and treating people with love. Take care.